Newton Zaw, Peggy. What we got?
Bug, man, we got a special guest today. They say his shots are lethal. He's a hell of a coach, all right? He can teach you to get that wet, that jump shot. You feel me? From all places, all ranges. He's traveled across the world putting the ball in the basket. None other than Mr. Lethal Shooter himself, man. Show him some love. Man. Thanks for joining 4th and 1, my brother.
Man, thank you for having me, y'all, man. This is an honor, man. I watch what you guys are doing, and to be on this show, man, it's definitely one of the moments that it's like, man, I feel like I'm starting to make it now.
Man, stop that. Don't do that.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
We're 4 million followers.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen.
I'm serious.
Hey, let's jump straight into it, man. You know, we've seen some of the first round already get some of the teams already get eliminated in the first round. What have we learned so far in the NBA playoffs that is surprising to you, or, you know, some of the things that we already knew going into it?
Man, the one thing we learned this year, you know, I know you guys appreciate it as well. They letting the guys play basketball. They playing tough. They out there elbowing each other in the face. They out there diving on the ground. They out there putting it all on the line. And respect to the NBA, man, because you remember the last few years, the referees wasn't allowing them to play. They was calling ticky-tack fouls. And just like the game last night, the Warriors and Rockets game, they was out there ready to kill each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you would know about that as well, Cam. You know, playing in the playoffs in the NFL, everything turns up. It's not the same anymore. It's not the same emotions. It's not the same feeling if it's a 3rd and 10 and you don't get the first down. It's just like that with the NBA. You know, you get a wide open shot in the playoffs and you miss, the pressure builds up. So to see how the players are taking it to the next level right now, man, it's remarkable, man. I'm loving every second of this.
So to that point of they're allowing the players to play, so to speak, do you think that was an emphasis going into the playoffs? Because even though that's a good thing, Peg, hear me out, the Pistons and Knicks, that last second three-pointer, which was an obvious foul, them coming out with a public apology does what for who? You know what I'm saying?
Make a lot of people
it
mad.
is what it is. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on just that.
No, I gotta agree with you. You know what I mean? The one thing we all gotta learn and know, which we know, you played pro, I played pro, he played pro as well. It's like the game can't be settled at the end by the ref, if that makes sense. And it was a great game, it was a great tough game. But let's put reality. Like the Pistons shouldn't have let the Knicks win the game. It shouldn't have came down to that, if that makes sense. So as a referee, we can't put the referee in a way where it's like he or she has to determine the game, if that makes sense to a lot of followers out there. Do I agree that he might have been fouled? Absolutely. But the basketball that we grew up on, all three of us, not saying this is the case, but in the 90s, they not giving nobody no foul for game winners and situations like that. You got to make the shot. Yeah. And, you know, and Tim's my guy. He's family. But he did move over a little bit, if that makes sense. He could have went straight up and straight down. I feel like the referees didn't want to bail him out right there. But I tell you this, the way the Pistons are playing right now, to me, you know, and I'm a Knicks fan as well. Shout out to Leon Rose. Shout out to Wayne Wesley. But if the Knicks was to just if the Pistons was to just calm down sometimes, I feel like they could win this series.
But I wanted to say, though, too, because that was a good point, just about how physical the game is, especially in playoffs right now. Can you see, like you brought up the 90s, can you see the game or the NBA going back to being more physical? Obviously, we got more, and we'll touch on that part, too. We have more shooting, three-point shooting instead of going to the basket hard. But do you see the game being more physical, obviously, to get more viewers and more attention to it?
I agree with you 100%, man. And that's the basketball that we all grew up. You know, I don't know when you guys were born, but when y'all went to the park, Cam, a dude was trying to take your head off in the game of 33.
Blood, no foul.
No foul.
No blood, no foul.
That ain't no foul.
Right.
And you better call your foul as you're in the act of shooting. You don't get no respect of an and one. An and one ain't no foul. It's subjective to the court.
No.
It's subjective to the court.
Exactly. And the thing is, all due respect to the young kids right now that grew up on TikTok and grew up on Instagram, they not used to going to the park. They not used to going to the park getting smacked or getting elbowed in the face and stuff like. Now, are we saying we're endorsing fighting? No. But what we're endorsing is competitive nature and hard-nosed basketball. Yeah. And yes, I agree with you. I feel like the NBA is making that a statement. If you're going to be out here crying, we don't care. And the one thing I want y'all to notice as well, team, when the guys are crying now, the refs ain't paying them no attention like back in the day. Yeah. If you want to cry, we're going to let the game keep going on, and your team going to go down while you down here whining whining, and we're going to let the other team go down here on offense. So these playoffs, we're noticing no whining, go out there and play hard. And how y'all feel about the defense? They hand checking. They out there, pushing people up. You saw what Anthony Edwards did to LeBron the other day. He damn near tackled him in the end zone. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now, once again, we're not promoting fighting. We're not promoting harming players. All we want as fans is competition without guys crying. And I feel like the playoffs right now, shout out to the NBA for giving us hard-nosed basketball again. This is the basketball that we grew up with. MJ, Clyde the Glide, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant, man.
Man, listen, you mentioned it, the physicality of LeBron with Anthony Edwards. To that point, what have we learned about LeBron James in this specific series?
We're learning, man. I mean, he's an older guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm older as well. And the one thing we know, why are we putting so much load on him? Why does he have to be LeBron James when he was 25 years old? He has the pieces around him that I feel like they can take a little more off on him. I feel like we're trying to put too much on his shoulders. And I feel like as well, when Anthony Edwards does muscle him up in that way, respectful, like I said, this is love, Cam. We're not promoting violence out here. Sure. But who's the guy on the Lakers that's going to check Anthony Edwards? Who's the guy on the Lakers that's going to go to Anthony Edwards and be like, man, take your hands off my guy, man, or we're going to have a goddamn problem. Yeah. And I feel like what Minnesota has realized is that they can bump the Lakers around. So in the fourth quarter, they might be a little fatigued, especially the King. You know what I mean?
Right. So one of those things, as you're saying about Anthony Edwards, right? Because I've been following him. He's a hometown favorite. Shout out to Atlanta. The T is silent. Is this when you watch his YouTube, when you watched his videos, the one thing that he mentioned about his team was that they were too soft, right?
Yeah.
And when you see the likes of a Draymond Green, the old Dennis Rodman, these guys were tempo setters, right? Do we even have a tempo setter in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
That can coincide with a LeBron to set the tone and keep the tone set for what it is. There has been an obvious physicality that teams has come on in Los Angeles to say, hey, we playing the Lakers, we just gonna bully them around, right? Make no mistake about it. And with that type of methodology and that type of psychology to it, we gonna pick on the bullies. Anthony Edwards have always stated that, I felt that there's times where we were soft, and that's including me. Yeah. And when you're playing playoff basketball and playoffs hockey, playoff baseball, playoff football, the element of physicality rises.
The stakes are higher.
You can't call that foul no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a dirty play no more. This is just playoff basketball. So I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves has done a great job with implementing that type of physicality. As one of our coaches would always say, let's take them to a place that they're not comfortable in, right? I think the Lakers have shown that they're not comfortable when somebody punches back, right? And this has nothing to do with insinuating violence or insinuating being a dirty player. It's all about the tempo of the game. This is the type of game. We always say it on the part, man, this is game 7, bro.
Yeah.
This game 7.
Let's do it.
I want hairlines on baseline. That type of energy, right? Me diving for a basketball is not a cheap play. It just makes the level of intensity higher and greater, right? So I do agree with you, Lethal, in regards to somebody has to take the workload off of LeBron James. He is not this 21-year-old phenom that can bolster the load of bringing the ball, not only being the number one, ball handler, the scorer, and guarding the best player. He's not that player no more, right? I'm going to ask this very contentious question. In your opinion, by the time this episode comes out, the verdict would already be set. Do you see the Lakers moving on from LeBron James if they lose this particular series?
I mean, it's the NBA, the NFL, it's a business. You know what I mean? Why I would keep LeBron, if that makes sense, because at 41, 42, 43, I hate to even say this, if LeBron is the third option, who's better than him on the other team? That's their two two option, if that makes sense, or maybe the number one option on the other team. So me personally, if I'm a GM, I'm sticking with LeBron. You know what I mean? But me personally, absolutely, we have to make some changes. And we got to start with getting two bigs. One of the bigs, I can care less with him about scoring. His only job is to set screens, fuck people up, set the tone, grab rebounds, protect LeBron James. The other big, we need him to finish around the rim. Who in the Lakers right now is a big that when Luka's tired and LeBron's tired, they could just throw it in, right, if that makes sense. Like who in the Lakers right now, if LeBron need to catch one, Luka need to catch one, they can give that person the ball and just go to work. It's Austin Reeves, but sometimes he's even tired. So that's why we got to give it to somebody in the post so they can take the load off. I mean, we're depending on three guys right now to score at least 30 points each, 20, 25 points each. And that's a lot. And with me, as a GM, I would never let LeBron go. I would retire LeBron as a Laker.
So even with that, right? Does LeBron still have the cash shell? Is he? Does he still have the magnitude to be the bait to bring in another free agent? Like, hey, I want to play with LeBron. Is it still that type of energy around the NBA?
Nah, absolutely. That's like saying when MJ was playing for the Wizards, if he was to call you, would you say no? They said MJ was calling people. They was like, man, absolutely, if that makes sense.
It's a chance of a lifetime.
When the greats call you, you always gonna come to the great, if that makes sense. So I feel like where he's at right now, and I hate to say this, but it seems like the older he's you guys know he's like fine wine. He's just getting better and better.
That's true.
It's just we got to take the load off him, and we can do that with another dominant big. To me personally, I feel like that if they had a dominant big, you know what I mean? I really, truly believe that they can make it to the finals. That's just me, because I feel like the way that Austin Reeves has been playing, respect to him, bro. Like, he been looking crazy out there. Like, his shifting in the game, the way he's getting to the rim, the way he's hitting the big shots for the Lakers. And at first, I wasn't a big fan of them trying to depend on Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves as a big three. And I feel like Austin Reeves is pulling his load.
So, obviously, we solidified the legacy in the era of LeBron with the Lakers. But let's talk about the Bucks and Giannis, all right? So Dame Lillard just went out. He might not be back next season with the Achilles. Do you feel like Giannis will be back next season? And what do you think? Is the era over with him in Milwaukee?
Man, this is a tough series to watch because Giannis is my guy, Bobby's my guy, Dame is my guy. But if I'm the GM there, and the good thing is I'm not a GM, but if I was a GM, I probably would blow that team up. I think respectfully, they got to start from scratch because Giannis, man, he out there giving 300%, bro. And I feel like the pieces that they have around him is not the pieces that's needed to win a championship. And Giannis is not a player that deserves to be going through what he's going through because he's giving 300%. So he's a player, if he says, look, I need Cam from the Panthers. I don't care what it costs. I don't care if we got to give him a penthouse. I don't care if we about to build a resort in Milwaukee. We giving him 60%, 70%. We need you here for Giannis. And I feel like, respectfully, from an outsider looking in, some of that isn't being done. And sad to say, I love Giannis. I love the Bucks. Doc's my guy. But I don't see Giannis staying there.
Is this a Giannis issue or is this a Doc Rivers issue?
See, that's a good question because a lot of people, which you know, Cam, they'll say, oh, it's the coach's fault. But as professionals, it's the players' fault as well. As players, you have to come together and be a unit. And sometimes when I'm watching the Bucks, it's a lot of one-on-one play going on. It's a lot of confusion going on. Respect to what's his name, Porter Jr. the other day. Respectful to him. Like, he played a great game, but it was a lot of one-on-one. It's hard to go one-on-one in the playoffs. They need to move the ball. If you see when the Bucks won the championship, respect to my guys, Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis at the time when I was training them, the ball was moving. The ball's not moving with the Bucks right now. And of course, Dame got hurt, but the Bucks don't have players where their shooting percentages are just through the roof and they're playing a certain way to take the load off Giannis. How many plays, Cam, can Giannis go 4-on-1?
Like, real talk. I mean, it's as evident
like, damn.
when you watch this. It's like you have a guy who's been very bullish in his style of play. We know one thing about Giannis. He's going to get to that cup, right? Hell or high water. Now, when you seen the Giannis, the productive Giannis, he's had shooters around him. He's had guys.
Yes.
The best Milwaukee Bucks team, they won with defense, right?
Yes.
And I don't care what the commodity in sport is. You still need to find guys that can score in the paint. In retrospect, in football, we have to have teams that are successful deep in the playoffs. You can look at the Kansas City Chiefs. You can look at, the New England Patriots in their dynasty era. They ran the football. That is the same similarities when you look at basketball. Guys have to be able to get to the cup or get to the foul line to have that common denominator. And when you stop that off and when shots aren't falling, then it's going to make it extremely hard. And you're not playing defense. That's going to make it extremely hard for any team to be successful for a long playoff push.
So and let's not disregard the Pacers. They're a great the Pacers are star-studded. They just don't get no credit because it's Indiana. That's like a good team being in Nebraska, if that makes sense. But let's not get it mistaken. The Pacers are great, but they shouldn't be doing this what they're doing to the Bucks. This is unacceptable with Giannis as the star player for the Bucks. And remember, me personally, internet trolls, they'll say, "Oh, this is Doc Rivers' fault." It is never the coach's fault to me. I always feel like the players need to step up in the big moment. The coach should coach and practice. In the game, he's supposed to honestly just be sitting down. Those are the best coaches to me.
Yeah,
man. If I would have to title this playoff, right, basketball-wise, I would like to title this the shift of legacy franchises outside of the Boston Celtics. Right?
Boston.
That's good.
We've seen the Miami Heat just get swept, and that's a team that we would not have even expected. I think they had, the largest loss deficit in playoff history.
Yeah.
One of the top. And it's like, what are we seeing? We want to see Golden State win. They've thrusted themselves into a legacy franchise or a legacy dynasty, but at the same time, it's a head-on collision with OKC, which has not been the team that we expect to see in playoffs.
That's true.
With SGA being the favorite for MVP. But even with the Lakers.
And the Timberwolves.
If Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers, they've taken down Goliath.
Yeah.
Right? And you look across the whole playoffs, it's like the teams that we are expecting
Them story franchises
to be the mecca of franchises left and right, there's been a shift of talent.
Yeah.
Right? And now you have to respect it. We want to see the Knicks, you know what I'm saying, in a deep playoff push, but the Pistons will have something to say about that.
That's true.
And no matter how you look at it, it's time for change, right? And change is coming. Now, to that point, and I want to kind of stay on topic, but off topic, I've always said this, and I'm curious to hear your kind of thought process of just the state of basketball as a whole and how you see the talent and the focus of the talent, right? We spoke about how when we grew up, and I remember me not even being a basketball player, me being a professional competitor, no matter what the sport was, I remember vividly going from park to park saying, "Hey, bro, I got 5, you got 5, and let's line it up," right? What do you see when you train the youth now? What has been this era's insufficiencies?
Yeah, I've been blessed a lot the last 5 years to be the co-director of Nike Academy, and I'm a scout for EYBL. And the biggest problem that we had about 3 years ago, a lot of these handlers and a lot of these agencies wouldn't allow the kids just to go play at the park, just to be kids. And the kids were just playing for Instagram highlights. Kids didn't know how to cut. Kids didn't know how to play true basketball. And the one thing that Nike and Jordan Brand said, we got to get back to the roots. We got to get back to kids playing outside. We got to get back to kids playing the right way. So we made an initiative that all of our camps, some of the camps, the kids might not touch a basketball, bro, until the second or third day, if that makes sense, okay? Yeah. We might make y'all play 2-on-2, Cam. We might make y'all play 3-on-3. Fuck 5-on-5. Can you read a play on a 3-on-2? So I feel like the basketball is being saved because the one thing we were starting to realize, respectfully, not saying we're better, but it's like the European was coming to our sport and they was killing us in grassroots as well because they're playing the basketball the right way. And the one thing we start realizing as well, our players were playing for Instagram clicks. Yeah. And that's not how sports is done. If you're in a 2-on-1, instead of trying to be pretty and throw it behind the back, throw a bounce pass. If you're in a 3-on-2 and the shooter's open, throw him a good chest pass. Don't throw a look away. So I think the state of basketball right now is absolutely amazing. If you look at all the circuits, EYBL, all the different shoe circuits right now, these young kids are playing basketball the right way. And as you guys can see as well, the NBA game right now is being played the right way. Guys are cutting, guys are moving, guys are helping people off the ground. People are going back to the traditional basketball. Not saying we got to be stuck in the old ways. I don't want people to think, oh man, these guys they don't know how to evolutionize. They don't know how to think out the box. No, it's sports. Sports is a team game that needs to be played fundamental. That's like dropping back in the pocket and being sloppy. If you do that, you get your fucking head taken off. And it's just like in basketball. If you're in a fast break and you don't know the fundamentals of basketball, you're not going to be successful. So it's our job right now, what we're doing with Nike and Jordan Brand. We're getting the kids from 12 years old to 16 years old, and we're teaching them the fundamentals. So when they go to a Duke, when they go to a Kentucky, when they go to a Kansas, etc., they're playing basketball the right way to trickle into the NBA, because it's our jobs as trainers, coaches, mentors to tell these kids, bro, go outside and play. But I got an NIL deal, and my agent said, man, take your ass to the hardwood, man. Go play, man, because that's how we all learned how to play. Yeah. Playing against dudes 40, 50 years old, you go to the basket, man, you look down, your tooth on the ground. Mm-hmm. Am I saying again, we're saying kids get hurt? No. But go outside and play basketball. Yeah. Learn how to play basketball. Don't just be in the gym with your trainer all the time and he being all nice and sweet to you. That one dude around your way that's real dirty and all he can do is play defense and he ripping your shirt or ripping your shorts off your pants, make him your best friend. The one dude that's the most elite scorer on the team and you're not good on defense, guard him the whole practice. Stop duck and bump because you can go viral on Instagram the negative way. And that's what we didn't have to we didn't have that on us growing up, as you know. Like, it hit social media, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Yeah. But I feel like kids are afraid to make mistakes, and we want kids to know to succeed in life, you have to fail. So
that's something big you said. You were saying like the foreigners came in and dominated, and Cam said this often. He was like, the game of basketball isn't an American sport anymore. Because when you start thinking and start lining up international players to our players here in the States, you know, the deficit is starting to separate. It's starting to be a deficit. And so what's your take on that? Like, with the foreign players taking over the NBA, do we have better foreign players than like domestic players? And I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. And I think that's why Steph Curry and Team USA played the way they played. They didn't play like that because, respectfully, like, you know, Team USA. No, it was like, we got something to prove, because everybody's saying this about us. Everybody's saying that these guys are better than us. And this is why these guys were out there doing this on behalf of Kobe, because people like Kobe, people like MJ, people like Magic, respectfully to Europe, you know, that's family as well. But they were showing them, man, this our sport. This our sport. We here to stay. We here to die for it. This is our game. And I have to agree with you, bro. There was a point where at the time I felt like Jokic, you know, Luka, give me another name, Giannis. At the time, those three, come on, bro. Yeah. But now I feel like people are going so hard that it just looks balanced, if that make that sense. But if you look at hard Jokic playing, bro, people can make fun of him riding horses or doing what he do. But bro, that dude out there giving 200%, brother. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? He out there going hard. Giannis giving 200%. And I feel like right now, respectfully, I feel like we have that order back.
So you had just brought up his name. So Curry, he just scored his 37th 30-point game, which tied up with Kobe. And I know a lot of people, you know, you got your LeBron, your Kobe, your Jordan. Should Steph be in that conversation? I want to hear from both of you all, obviously, because, you know, that's the barbershop talk. That's the Mount Rushmore. Right. And so now with Curry still balling, I know LeBron has a way of just igniting everybody. And everybody like, oh, that's LeBron. But Curry has his thing. He's still he's NBA champion, MVP, everything like that, and has the stats to back it up. Should Curry be in the Mount Rushmore with the likes of the LeBrons, the Kobes, and the Jordans?
I mean, me personally, why not? Like what more does he have to prove? I feel like if Steph Curry was to retire tomorrow at the guard position, how many people has done what he's done? He's put the Warriors franchise on his back.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? He's 36, 37 years old right now, still with the franchise on his back. Like, if you watch the game right now, who the number one option? Steph Curry. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like, for people to not compare him to a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, that's absurd. I think sometimes people might do that because he's a smaller guard. And if Steph Curry was 6'5", it'd be a little bit different. But to me, Steph Curry has evolutionized and changed the game of basketball with the art of shooting for the good. Because a lot of people would say the negative. See, the one thing people got to realize is there's certain people that can throw like Tom Brady, but to get to that level or get to a level of Cam Newton, they don't understand that you have to be precise every day as a kid. And that's what Steph Curry has done. Steph Curry has put the work in so much that he can shoot and look away. Now, if kids want to do that, that's your own fault. Some people say Steph Curry hurt the game, but to me, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I think a player like Steph Curry saved the game of basketball. He's like what Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan did for the NBA when they shifted the NBA stock. I think if it wasn't for Steph Curry, the stock wouldn't be where it is because he's must-see TV.
I think when you talk about a guy like Steph Curry, the thing that sticks out the most is you see Steph Curry in the common person.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if that doesn't give you any type of right for praise, it's like, what else will? We see a LeBron James. There's not a lot of 6'9", 270-pound individuals that's moving like that.
Yeah.
Even when you look at Jokic, when you look at Giannis, when you look like SGA and these guys, I mean, granted, he's 6'7", 6'8". We're looking at Steph Curry at 6'3", 6'4", with his shoes on, that has literally his skill with ball handling ability, his skill with just being a dead eye in any capacity of the court, and he's literally taking his skill from good to great, from the best to the better than the best. And that gives hope for somebody to say, don't look at the three and look away. Look at the time that he's devoted to this game. And his father was Dale Curry. Yeah. Now, we've seen multiple situations where father-son doesn't always pan out. But ever since inception that the world has known about Steph Curry, he's gotten better, and he's gotten better. Now, his biggest insufficiency is defense. But for somehow, he's won championship after championship after championship without somebody exposing him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's doing something right.
So even with that type of realm, Steph Curry didn't hurt basketball. If anything, people are looking at the wrong thing, that Steph Curry has helped basketball, and he has put the focus on fundamentals. He has put the focus on just reps. He has put the focus on just countless hours that I devote to this specific sport, because that's what's going to be needed. I'll tell you a quick story about Steph Curry. Back in 2013 and 14, I was just coming off, just me creating my persona in Carolina. Yeah. What people don't know, Steph Curry came to the Panthers OTAs as well as the training camp just to see a different style of coaching. Hey, how do you prepare for football? What can I do to incorporate this in basketball? Now, I'm gonna take you back. In 2013, you would know Cam Newton more than you would know Steph Curry, right?
100%.
And now, this is when his Instagram was Wardell or whatever it was. It wasn't Steph Curry, but he still was devoted to the game, right? And to something that you said, Lethal, I remember when basketball would be this, like, yo, you got your set, I got my set, and we will go. It wasn't just to prove that you were good. It would be the scout skill. How many times have you went to a place and was like, damn, boy, buddy got a crossover on him. And then what you do the next day, you implement that same.
You work on it,
You do what he did.
All those.
That type of defense that he would say, like, yo, like, these skills that you see other people perfect, you implement those things.
Into your game.
That's what playground basketball
for sure,
or hardwood, matchups would do for you.
Yeah.
And it's no different than even in football. It's like, yo, I would always see kids ducking smoke. It's like, bro, I don't care how many stars you got. I don't care how many offers you got. I don't care who your name is. Bro, if you are a 5-star and when it's time for you to do 5-star things, you don't do it, you're not considered a 5-star in my book.
I got something.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need to take sport back to, hey, I'm going to prove it, right? Even when I was looking at the piece with Anthony Edwards, there was this thing where, hey, yo, I got a kid. My partner, he cold, he tough. It was a prove it thing. Take us back. We don't have anything like the Rucker part where folks will put their talent on display in a very rugged, ratchet way where, hey, bro, you know, what was it, the Drew League?
The Drew League.
Right? When we would see all-stars come out to the common person and just prove and to validate, like, no, bro, I'm that guy.
Yeah. And NBA players would go out to Rucker and still like prove it. Like Kobe would, you would get real players in the NBA going out to Rucker Park and putting it on with against other NBA players or cats just from the hood. And it's like, if you the best, we gon' see. You know what I'm saying?
There's no I'm sorry to cut you off, Pitt, but there's no prove it.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that in sport no more.
Them days, yeah, it's over. Because that's how I became great. So like in college, you know, my senior year, I was number 3 in the nation in threes made. But it's because I played at the Rucker, I played at Berry Farms, I played at Dykeman when I went to New York as well, and I played in NYC Pro City. Pro City, you might go against an NBA player, then you go against that street dude that just finished smoking that'll probably knock out all your teeth. And then you go around the farms, you might play against Kevin Durant, and then you might play against a dude that might try to pull out a gun. But like I'm saying, what you're saying is that's what molded me, that when I went to college, when I went to Russia, when I went to China, bro, I wasn't afraid of nothing. And I feel like what you're saying, you know, we got to get back to kids not being afraid and to athletes not being afraid to see. You heard what Kobe said. That's why he pulled up to the Drew that time. He said, man, they wanted me to come. They was talking shit. I'm going to pull up. Yeah. And when he pulled up, he shut it down. Yeah. And then look, everybody had nothing to say. You know what I mean? And that's how we grew up. I used to literally every weekend with white chocolate drive to the Rucker to play in the Rucker. Every weekend play at the Berry Farms. Every weekend drive up. Shout out to Coach Couch in New York City. I would drive up to New York every weekend to play in New York City, Nike Pro City, to play in those games because I wanted to play against the top DC players and I wanted to play against the top New York players every weekend in the summer. And that's how you become the best. You're going to lose some, but you're going to win some. But when you win and you lose, you learn from both.
Man, the thing about this is I would challenge every athlete, no matter the sport, to have the desire to get exposed. Right?
Yes.
And it sounds bad, but now you know, like, even though these games do not count, it still takes a badge on your resume, right?
Yes.
You want to get exposed because now you need to know what you need to work on.
That's how you be to compete.
It's too much fear in being on Instagram, on TikTok. Hey, bro, this is the dude that bothers. Like, no, bro.
I know.
Me, even when I just recently went on a show, and that was the thing. Is like, why are you doing a show? I want to be exposed. I want to know what I think I know, but I really don't know until put into a situation.
Correct.
And that's the athlete in me to challenge myself to always be better. If it's fatigue, if it's stamina, bro, I need to get more reps. I need to build my cardio. If it's shot and clutch time situations, I need to work on that. You know what I'm saying? 3, 2, like all these different things.
Yeah.
Like you as an athlete want to get exposed as much as possible. So now when the lights are on, you know, okay, in order to be great at something, you need to know what you're most insufficient at. And you need to protect that, right? So, you know, one of the things before you get out of here, Lethal, is I want you to give us the starting 5 for the American team versus an international team. Because, hear me out, a lot of these players who represented the NBA are all future Hall of Famers. We don't really have a corporate of guys that are coming up from America that can really get the torch passed to them. Not saying at all situations, and this is my personal opinion. You have, the Jaws, you have the Ant-Mans, you have multiple players that's out there. But for you being your specialty in basketball, when you see the Luka is what, 26? No. Who's somebody who can go toe for toe with the international team from America?
Man, I gotta go. Are they retired too or no?
No. This is
so like I would go with the one. I would go with Shea. At the two, I would go with
Shea's Canadian.
No, he's saying a domestic player.
So
top
international,
5.
You got an international.
Okay. I would go with Steph at the one. At the two, I would go with Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
At the three, I would go with LeBron. At the four, I would go with Kevin Durant. And at the 5, I would go with Anthony Davis.
Now, with all those guys, 4 of those guys are over 30.
Right. But I got a question for you. Excluding those guys right now, and then we had to play against, you're right, Luka, Giannis, Shea. We had to play against those guys.
Wemby.
I apologize, Wemby. Yeah. It's kind of hard to pick right now younger guys in the NBA that can compete with that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, to me. Because if you think about Wemby right now, not to go off topic, who in his age group from America is playing like him?
Yeah, that's real.
Which puts the onus back on fundamentals, which puts the onus back on just skill. Right, just puts the onus back on having that type of Lions mentality. That's like, bro,
whoever's standing in front of you
can get it.
Can't get that one.
Anybody can get
it, and will get it.
You dig? So I've caught a lot of ridicule with saying like, yo, NBA, MLB are not Americanized sports no more. It's being dominated by international players. Right? This is a challenge to Americans to say like, yo, dog, we got to do better. And not only do better, we have to prove it on a national stage because in a couple of years, Steph is going to be retired. In a couple of years,
he's going to be gone.
Gonna be retired. In a couple of years, LeBron's going to be retired. In a couple of years, Anthony Davis is going to be forced to get retired, right?
No.
Yes.
Who are we going to lean on?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of skillful talent at the guard position. But when you're talking about the bigs, right, and even really what, you said about what the Lakers need, they don't just need bigs, they need athletic bigs, right?
Yes,
they can run the court, not only play defense, but be a rebound hog to really assist and keep, I'm about to say keep drives alive, but keep opportunities alive to understand like, yo, back in the day when you had Shaq was an athletic big, right? When you look at Dwight Howard was an athletic big, could run the court. When you look at the bigs that we've grown accustomed to, right? These guys can run the court and was reliable to that type of dynamic. Now, don't put them on the foul. Don't put them on the foul line.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the day, they could protect the paint.
For sure.
With no questions asked. So
you might got a good point there, but I do think, like I said personally, I think things have evened out. But the way you just put it, with LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis out of the picture, the way you just put it, man, that's pretty deep for sure. Like, it's, the NBA is in great hands. Don't get it messed up. American basketball is in great hands. But when those four leave, man, it's gonna be a little. It's time for us to step up. You're right. It's time.
As you all talk about the star players globally or domestic, I have to ask, during this playoff series, who is your role spark player? Like, who will give their team the biggest spark to go through this playoff series or throughout the playoffs as a whole?
Man, I can say I'm beyond proud of Anthony Edwards. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love the Timberwolves, but, let me take that back. I don't love the Timberwolves. I don't love any NBA team. I love individuals.
Okay.
And I feel like Anthony Edwards right now, remember, we can't compare him to this because he hasn't won it. But I'm saying he's doing NBA-ish with MJ. He's doing NBA-ish with Kobe. He's doing NBA-ish with like a Magic Johnson, how he's making his teammates believe, how he's setting the tone so high that you like, damn, I might be able to do this because he's pushing me this hard and he's showing me that he can do it as well. So I think the person that's standing out in the playoffs right now is Anthony Edwards, because if he brings down LeBron and Luka together, that's a major accomplishment for him. Now, the goal is the trophy. So if he wins and he loses the second series, this all means nothing. But for him to win this series, like you were saying, Cam, this would be a big shift in sports. It would be a big shift in Goliath franchises, because he's showing us right now that the bully has been picking on me, and I'm tired of the bully. Even during the season, they was playing bad, bro. The Timberwolves going through all type of locker room drama. And right now, these guys are out there giving 200%. So I want to send a huge shout out to Anthony Edwards. Continue to play hard, block out the negativity, block out the haters, and continue to move in your path.
So I'll say I will second this, but give you a different type of thought process. In 2015, we looked at this team as the bullies. When we went into Seattle and beat Seattle, I think it was early on. I think it was like week 5 or week 6.
Yeah,
we were undefeated at the time, and when we beat Seattle, it propelled our confidence in a way that it's like, hey, who on some of big old me?
We on to something. Yeah,
I believe that if the Minnesota Timberwolves can beat the LA Lakers, it will propel them to now believe that we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
And this is the things that superstars do. This is the fine print. This is something that is not always perpetrated or verbalized in media. It's superstars give everybody hope. Superstars give the fans hope. Superstars give the executives hope to say, hey, we got to build around this guy because we want 4 to 5 of these guys on the court at the same time, right? We're not going for anything else because this is our engine. This is our gas. This is our fuel that's going to get us to the top. His mentality, his skill set. And there's numerous times where even in this series, up until this point, we've looked and said, okay, the game is getting tight. Who are we going to pass the ball to? Man, welcomely. Man, hey, give me the ball, bro.
Yeah.
I'll shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's not one of those things that's like, it's like we expect the ball to go in. That's what Steph Curry has done for the Golden State Warriors. That's what LeBron James has done for every single team that he's been on. When you think about Kobe, when you think about MJ, when you think about great players, even SGA has that, and there's still certain things that he has to kind of exceed and say like, yo, you know, what it is. But when you give people hope that no matter what we got you.
We good.
We good.
Yeah.
And until or when it happens, right, you take down Goliath, and now it's like, okay, we got Ant-Man, we straight. Yeah. Now it takes Ant-Man to raise not only his level of play, but the play around everybody else, and you've seen it firsthand.
But you said something right there, though, Cam. Like, even when you talked about the Timberwolves beating the Lakers and what that would do for their energy, right, and their motive and their mindset, do you, and I want to hear from both of you all, do you feel like the Timberwolves is the most dangerous team in the playoffs? And if not them, who do you have being the most dangerous team in the playoffs?
I mean,
that's a good question. I mean, me personally, I love Boston. You know, Jaylen Brown, that's my man. Jason Tatum, my man. But, like, man, the Cavs look crazy right now, bro.
They smoking them, boy.
God damn. So it's like, I'm not trying to say Orlando is easy, but Orlando ain't making Boston look like they so dominant. I feel like the Cavs and OKC might be in the finals.
Man, listen, dog. This is what people don't understand in this type of phase of what the sport is in right now. When you start playing playoff basketball, playoff baseball, playoff hockey, it decimate the talent. Who plays the best with each other? You see what I'm saying? The individual play will get you to this point. The individual play is not going to take you past this point.
That's good, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No matter what you say about the Golden State Warriors, they're the best team, and they've always played the best together. Draymond Green knows his role. Bro, I'm going to guard the most dominant big, whoever we have, issues with. I'm going to set the tone, and I'm going to pass the ball, right? He started the game the other night with 2 threes. What was that?
Right.
You start letting him and the others, you start letting the others score? It's like, whoa, what's going on? But teams who play the best with each other typically go the furthest. We've seen it with Boston. Jalen Green, Tatum, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, that tandem has always played the best together. Now, contrary to who's the best player on the team, we're not going to get sidetracked with that. Because now that's what the media wants to throw a little grenade in and say, okay, now we have a specific issue brewing, a civil war, so to speak, when they've always controlled that narrative. When you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers and you look at Spider, he's the star. But guys are doing their job, bro.
Yeah, they were working.
They're beating guys up mentally and physically, and they're hitting shots.
And this is the Cleveland Cavaliers we talking about.
Without LeBron James. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
So it's one of those things that GMs, executives, owners always have this thought process. When you look at the Mavericks back in the day when they had Jason Kidd and Dirk and Sean Marion with the ugly three. You see what I'm saying? Those guys played the best. Jason Terry, right?
Terry.
These guys just had
the headband Terry.
You just had the understanding of like, I know my role and I'm going to be the best at my role. And the team who does that will be the team that succeeds the most, right? If you do your job, if you're expected to hit that corner 3 down every single time and you do it more times than not, you're doing your job, bro. If you can minimize the mistakes and minimize what the other team is trying to do by you doing your job the best, that's what it's really going to come down to. See what I'm saying? And who has the mental fortitude and the mental stamina to do that more than the other team?
That's real.
I agree.
So, listen, dog, this is a fun question that I had. You've trained so many different people, from basketball players to even, TV personalities. Who is a person that you trained and you was like, oh, this person got game, he or she?
Right. That's crazy because, last night I just trained Cedric the Entertainer.
Was that a serious training session?
Big time.
So we trained before, and then afterwards we had to do promo for the NBA. So we did train. He has a court at his house, but last week I knocked out Will Smith. The week after that I knocked out. I've been on a good little roll right now, man. I got Jamie Foxx in 3 days again. But I gotta say, the client to me, and I always say this, I gotta pick 3 because if I pick 1, y'all be getting me in trouble. So I gotta say, shout out to Atlanta. 2 Chainz, he got a nice jump shot. You know what I mean? 2 Chainz got a nice jump shot. Shout out to our man Michael B. Jordan. He got a nice jump shot. And shout out to Chris Brown. Chris Brown has a nice jump shot.
He be playing in the BET basketball, all the celebrity games.
Yeah. He has a really nice jump shot. Like he's good, man. Them 3 right there. Not saying excluding all the other guys that I've trained, but those 3 right there, like they don't be playing, bro. Like they really serious about it.
Bro, I gotta ask you this. Rapid fire though. All time, who's your 3? Give me your best 3 shooters all time.
Man, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Damn, 3?
3.
You terrible, dog.
3 for 3. 3 for 3.
Look. Watch this. Reggie Allen.
Wow. So we ain't got no Reggie Miller on there?
Allen or Ray Allen?
Do you get it? Instead of Reggie Miller?
Oh,
Yeah, you put Reggie
I
Allen.
see.
You trying to put them both in there. Look.
I see.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Man, Lethal Man,
man.
appreciate your time, dog.
Yeah.
Anytime, you always welcome over here, fourth and one.
Man,
know
thank
what
you
I'm
guys.
saying?
Hey, we gotta do that. You saw I did the shooting video with Stephen A.
Yeah.
Me and you gotta do that shooting video because you're an athlete, bro. I'm gonna have you doing videos, you dunking that thing with 2 hands.
Man, listen, I just want the reps, bro. I ain't afraid.
All right,
You know
all
what
right.
I'm saying? I'm
Hey, hold
the
up.
guy-
You gonna be a Tom Cruise, but you can't give me a 2-hander?
Oh no, that's easy. That's a given. That's what's expected, though. You see, what I'm saying? Like I say, I got the LaMarcus Aldridge,
Okay.
the Boogie Cousins.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the Dirk Nowitzki is. Like,
Okay.
I really like bigs who really are skillful and light on their toes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right,
the dude
right.
that's bringing the ball up court, trying to shake and
Right,
just
right,
go
right.
guard and like no, dog.
Yeah.
It's finesse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I really appreciate Zach Randolph, Big Zach.
Oh,
like those guys. Like,
man.
that's how I'm off
Footwork
my
king.
game.
You underneath the basket with it.
Yeah, bro. I'm a bully you. You know what I'm saying? Position.
Yeah.
I just want the easies, bro. You feel me?
Just
We
the
all
easy.
knew we had that guy on the court that was just like the you know, real slow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can guard anybody. You know
Put
what
him
I'm
over
saying?
there.
But
Time
at the
out.
same time, you know, I'm gonna put the body on you. You know what I'm saying? And then when you try to pull the chair off on it, I got too much control that it's just an
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Man, appreciate
we
you,
gotta
dog.
do that, bro, man. Man, thank you guys for having me, man. Like I said, y'all thought I was joking, but this definitely a dream come true, man. I respect what you two are doing, man. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.